Let's bring old Brian Kelly up to the fray here and see how he basically looks like to me. I'm gonna get everybody's adjective. Everybody, give me your adjective of what Brian Kelly reminds you of after he does this. I want y'all to check this out.
Some guys played their butts off tonight, and we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. About not finishing when you have an opponent.
One more time. I gotta say that again. That was probably the lamest slamming of a table I've ever seen in my life, man.
Capitalize. Kelly didn't hold back. We're discussing his frustrations. Listen to this, fellas.
Some guys played their butts off tonight, and we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. About not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away. But what we're doing on the sideline is feeling like the game's over. And I'm so angry about it
only up by 4
that I got to do something about it. I'm not doing a good enough job as a coach. And I got to coach him better because it's unacceptable for us not to have found a way to win this football game. It's ridiculous. And it's crazy.
What do y'all think about that? Huh? What do y'all think about that? Did he not look like a schoolgirl? Like he hit that table like a 15-year-old schoolgirl that misplaced her tampons in gym class. That's what he reminded me of. He reminded me of a little schoolgirl throwing a tantrum. Was that not the gayest or the lamest? Can't say that word. I'm sorry. I apologize to all the politically correct people out there that I said the word G-A-Y. But was that not the lamest smacking down of a table that you've ever seen in your entire history of laying down the smack on a table in your entire life? Damn, man. Damn. Holy crap, man. This dude is so cringe. Let me see if I can get past this commercial for y'all so y'all can see what Shannon Sharp said about the dude.
Hey, welcome into First Take. We are laboring.
All right, let's fast forward it here. I don't want to hear Paul Feinbaum. He's jacked
bad.
up.
What's your reaction to what Brian Kelly had to say off that crushing loss?
I think it's BS. I think he should have led with what he finished with. I'm not doing a good enough job. He did the exact same thing last year, Molly, when Florida State thumped them. Clearly, we're not the team that I thought we were. No, you're not the coach that you thought you were. At some point in time, it comes down to coaching. It comes down to accountability. Now, you had 10 penalties for basically 100 yards. You either coach that behavior or you condone that type of behavior. But how about this? Oh, and their quarterback outplayed ours. Lincoln Riley outcoached you. The really great coaches, look at Dabo. When he got thumped by Georgia, he said, that's coaching. That's on me. Coach Saban used to do it all the time. The really, really good coaches, the coaches that can get to their players and get them to understand, even if a player makes a mistake or does something repeatedly, they'll take it and they'll get behind closed doors. If he wanted to have this type of conversation, guys, we talked about this all summer. We had this problem a lot last year. Starting to feel good about ourselves, and we let teams back into the ball game, and that came back to bite us. If you wanted to do that behind closed doors, I got no problem with it.
Like Shannon Sharp is saying here, instead of starting off with blaming or saying that your players don't get it and they think that they've won the game, why don't you start off by saying, this is on me? But he didn't, because Brian Kelly is a fake. And I hate it for the LSU people because I actually like LSU. Unlike a lot of Alabama fans out there, I do like LSU. And I feel for them. Because if they could just get it right with a coach that could win more than 9 or 10 games a year without falling into this shady atmosphere that they always seem to fall into, LSU could probably be a dynasty. But hey, here you go again with another shady incident from Brian Kelly. As Shannon Sharp was alluding to it, I'm going to start it back up. I just didn't want to keep playing it because they might red flag me on this, but we'll see.
But Brian Kelly has a repeated behavior of doing this publicly. chastising his players and obfuscating himself of responsibility.
Brian, Shannon Sharp, I disagree with him on some things, but this I definitely agree with him on. I'm not going to play any more of it because they might try to demonetize my video here because you know how they are. But let's see what Michelle Hitchcock had to call. Dick Duesque. Is that how you say that? Dick Duesque? Is that a word? I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. Dick Duesque. Dick Duesque. Sounds dicky. Sounds like he's a prick. Maybe if I had to guess, if I was in charge of Webster's dictionary, I guess Dick Duesque would be one who sticks his own cock in his mouth instead of his own foot. Brian Kelly's constantly sticking his own cock in his mouth, I guess you could say that. But yeah, he could have handled that a lot differently, like Shannon Sharp said, man. And why would your players think that they had the game won when they're only up by 4 points? I don't buy that. To me, that sounds like you don't know how to keep their head in the game. And that's not on the players. That's on you, man. You've had all off season. It'd be different if you're in the middle of the season and some bad shit happened or something that sort of took y'all's focus off of your season. But y'all have had all off season to prepare for USC, and this is what happens. But it's like my boy Johnny John said. If neither one of these teams really impressed me. Now, everybody's like, well, look, USC actually had a defense. Really, did they? Because Nussmeier has not really proven himself to me. Now, he had a decent bow outing, I think, but overall, he hasn't really proven himself. Is it possible that maybe USC and LSU's offenses are not as good as they've been in the past? And if that is the case, then USC and LSU are both in trouble. And it's like Johnny Johns alluded to in our conversation. What if these are teams that are normally good, but they're not good this year? Like, for example, Clemson and Florida State. As Johnny Johns once again said, I like to keep giving him kudos. What if Clemson and Florida State played in the first week of the season? And we all know now that Clemson is not that good. They got beat 34-3 by Georgia. But that is Georgia. Clemson's probably going to still end up winning about 9, maybe even 10 games, in my opinion. But if Clemson played Florida State in week 1 and one of those teams won, which they would because we don't have ties anymore, then you'd be singing their praises, not knowing that later on in the year they were going to be exposed and neither team was going to be worth a damn. And I think that's what's going to happen with USC and LSU. I don't think this has proven anything for either one of them, especially USC. They still haven't played a proven offense yet. Garrett Nussmeier is a green quarterback. They have not played a legitimate seasoned quarterback of, like the Jalen Milroe ilk. So we'll see. I think it's a little bit misleading right now to think that because USC won, that means USC's back. Because we don't know how good LSU is. We'll know in a few weeks how good LSU is. So the jury's out on whether this game meant that one of these teams is going to the playoffs, or does it mean that one team is going to be 7-5 and the other team is going to be 8-4? I think it's the latter, but we'll see. So you said G did, I fat fingered it. Well, unfat finger it and put it back out. Give us what you was trying to do. Oh, I see it up here. Dildo-esque. Yeah, that's a good adjective to describe Brian Kelly's slamming of the fist. They're just not playing on the sidelines. They think they got the game won, and we're only up by 4 points. Why didn't you tell them that? Huh? Why didn't you tell them that, Brian? Hey, y'all only up by 4. I can understand, man, if they were up by 21 points, them getting the big head. But how can you say they had the big head by being up by 4? I'm not buying it, Brian. I'm not buying it, brother. I'm just not. Also, you'll see people in here with their badges. Fred Bagley, among others. If you want to get your badge like Fred Bagley and be a random Four Horsemen shout out, which I got right here today, just reminded me. If you want to get your badge and get deputized to be in the Outlaw Posse and get a random Four Horsemen shout out on the podcast or on the live stream and possibly the comment of the day, all you got to do is hit that join button next to subscribe button. It's not $2.99 a month. That's just 75 cents a week. That's just a half a bottle of water for the Outlaw. And you'll be in the Outlaw Posse. But you can also do the big four, which are all free. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, let's do the Four Horsemen shout-outs real quick. The Four Horsemen shout-outs are Dale Sent, Denizen, James, and Doug Fleetwood. I'm out up, saddled up, and ready to go, and they're going to help us with today's college football invasion. They're going to help us with the rest of this entire show in spirit.